Housing in Vermont used to be a local tradition. Structures were mainly built from materials coming from Vermont. Today, you would need to find a historic preservationist or a natural builder to build something in this vein, both rare birds. I propose to make housing and indeed all construction a local tradition again. Does Vermont have the labor force to redevelop a building industry based on local harvesting and manufacturing? Besides the fact that every truck you see in Vermont has a trade name on it, I have young people from all over the country inquiring on a monthly basis for work and a chance to learn about using local materials. And while much of the raw materials used for construction have been tapped, the modern construction world has largely turned to concrete and petrol-based synthetics. But Barrie has not run out of granite, Vermont has not run out of wood, and there are new opportunities for renewable materials and new ideas for materials we haven't even thought of before. Vermont is well aware of the bounty of wood in the Green Mountains, with capable craftsfolk involved in many silvicultural production. But barely half of the wood used in Vermont is from Vermont, and even less percentage of that is used for the construction industry, some of which is actually harvested in Vermont, sent out, and then back before being used. The greatest opportunity lies in manufacturing, for not only creating building products, but using local materials, but also creating jobs. Global economics, cheap oil, and cheap labor have outsourced many good jobs and kept a lot of great products and businesses from entering the market. Can we also heat and power our buildings from local sources? Well, we've just seen that that is possible and it's happening. And more than half of all the buildings in Vermont were built before 1970 in the first energy crisis. This one here was built from Barrie granite that was hauled to East Calais by horses. So how do we preserve Vermont's architecture and continue to use all the structures that are still usable in a way that's true to its heritage and yet continues to develop these methods using the best and most efficient technology we have? That 1840s farmhouse no longer relies on fossil fuels here for heat and will use around 1 quart of wood, a more than 80% reduction in fuel. So what will it look like when we begin to use local materials again? It will not be dramatically different, and I'm not advocating for any historical reenactment. These structures will feel better because in building them we are supporting our neighbors and there's a sense of connection with the landscape, two very important things for Vermonters. This remodeled kitchen feels modern and yet is built from solid wood and stone that is recycled from the barn out back. The finishes are even Vermont made, from Way creating a low VOC sealer. The real significance, though, of using local materials is in quality, performance, and its beneficial impact in the environment and the local economy. There is always going to be the creative design-build culture in the hills of Vermont. The beauty, though, of many of the innovative building materials that use local materials is that they rely on existing infrastructure. This is the backbone of a sector that could actually make an impact on Vermont's new economy. This is a house made from split cordwood. We have found new methods to utilize our ubiquitous wood sources at all stages. Here, scrap wood is processed into wood chips and sawdust, which are combined with clay for insulation. This eliminates material that would normally go to landfill and effectively stores carbon in the building. Don't retire that square baler. We're utilizing equipment to create regenerative housing that dovetails one of our greatest assets, small-scale farming. Imagine buildings that not only run on renewable energy, but are built from renewable materials that farmers grow right here in Vermont. From farm to construction site, bales are delivered for installation. Carefully made and selected for optimal building characteristics, we're working with farmers to develop relationships that will endure and create buildings that we are proud of. This is a rewarding process where you get to know everyone involved from beginning to end. More than 15 years of work has already been done in Vermont on incorporating straw bales into home construction in a way that optimizes both performance and quality. The leading edge right now is making it affordable and easily reproducible. This is where we need the support of Vermont to realize the benefits at a scale that creates accessibility. There are many benefits of using local materials besides supporting local business. Here you can see the end result of using straw on a construction site. Instead of being labeled waste at this point, it becomes food, forage, mulch, and erosion control. This is typical of using natural local materials. The ability of structures to insulate or conserve heat is critical here in the cold Northeast, where heating is a large source of carbon release and yet important for comfort. We are actively testing and monitoring the performance of building methods using local materials and building on their successes. We are also experimenting with ways to utilize small and large diameter round timber and natural braces as the framing material with the least amount of embodied energy and improves the strength and beauty of frames they are used in. This work goes hand in hand with the development of managed forest crops called coppices that will add to Vermont's working landscape ethos. I often hear the complaint that Vermonters are tired of people coming from other places and bringing their lifestyles with them to the point where Vermont is losing its identity. Many people think that Vermont needs to import not only materials for building, but for ideas on land use and development in order to be attractive to people who might want to move here. We are left wondering what happened to our character. We are at the risk of losing that character, and this is not the result of a once successful economy nor the necessity of being modern. This is what happens when you're part of a design system based on maximizing profit. Vermont is a great home for the old American dream as created by our great salesmen, and it is destroying what we know as Vermont. As we figure out how to build homes with local materials, we are also asking how to build neighborhoods and communities. Why can't a new neighborhood look like this? It's what everybody comes to Vermont to see. Instead of importing everything, let's build with our strengths and realize the unique potential of Vermont. We will be more rich for it.